Alright, today we're doing Unit 3, Day 1, Venn diagrams and biconditionals. Alright, the first type of Venn diagram we're going to discuss is the Venn diagram that is none. Okay, so they're going to be two separate circles that are not touching. Objects in one loop have nothing, okay, in common with objects in the second loop. Keywords are no and none, okay? So right here, all right, when you look at this diagram, basically this states no dog is a chair, okay? The next one is some. You guys can remember this with the two circles, a little bit of each circle touching each other, some of the circle touching, right? Objects in one loop have some things in common with objects in the second loop. Keywords, some. Okay, so looking at this diagram, you look at this and you can say that some tables are wooden. Next thing is all. Okay, it's important to recognize that when you have an all diagram, the little circle is your P and the big circle is your Q. Okay, and then when you look at it, it's when one loop is completely inside another. The inner loop is a type of the outer loop. Okay, so all, always. Okay, so looking at this, you can say that all cats are animals. Okay, now this is a special kind of rule, okay? So we just learned all, right? All is when you have the small circle, you describe that first, it goes from P to Q, okay? So they describe the P first, then go to the Q. Now, even though a diagram can look like all, this is going to be some when the big circle, okay, is described first in the statement, goes from Q to P, okay? All right, now we're going to look at that, okay? So rainy day, okay, is your P, and then cloudy day is your Q. All right, looking at the statement, cloudy days are rainy days. This is going from Q to P, so you know that that's the special type, okay? This is the exception. That is going to be some, even though it looks like all, okay? Now, let's talk about rainy days and cloudy days again with this one. Rainy days are cloudy days. This is going from P to Q, okay? So then that's going to be all. Please make sure you recognize the difference between 1 and 2. All right. This one's pretty easy. You have intersecting circles, so that's going to be some. Students don't go to the beach. Okay? Again, that intersection, some. People who go to the beach are students. All right. Now, when you have things like this, make sure you're looking at just what they're talking about. Okay, so obtuse angles are right angles. Just looking at those two circles, that's going to be a no. Okay, no obtuse angles are right angles. For this one, right angles are obtuse angles. We're looking at the same thing. They are not touching, so you're going to say no. Okay, next page. All right, so what we're going to talk about next is a biconditional. Remember that the bi in Latin means two, okay? So this combines the conditional, okay, which is P then Q, and the converse to become P then Q, the biconditional. Okay, you know it's the biconditional because it has the arrows in between going both ways, okay? So you read this as P if and only if Q. If and only if Q. It also can be written as IFF. Okay, that stands for if and only if. All right, when can we write a conditional, a biconditional? So the conditional And biconditional, and I'm sorry, the converse, converse must be true. Okay? All right, now you have to look at your first given conditional. If two angles have equal measure, then the angles are congruent. I believe that's true. Okay? Write the converse. All right? So now we're going to write if the angles are congruent, then the two angles have equal measure. Okay? All right, is the converse true? Yes, it is. So now you can write the biconditional. Okay? So what you do is you take the P, then you take the IFF, okay? Then you take the Q. All right, so that's my little recipe for biconditional. So the P, there's no if and then in a biconditional. You take the P, two angles have equal measure if and only if the angles are congruent. So I just wrote my biconditional, okay? Let's do another example. All right, if an angle is a straight angle, then it measures 180 degrees. I believe that to be true, okay? So write the converse, Q to P. If it measures 180 degrees, then the angle is a straight angle. That is also true, right? Okay, so now let's write the biconditional. Again, the recipe for biconditional is you take the P, then you have the IFF, then you have the Q. We're not writing if and then. You take the P straight as it is. So an angle is a straight angle if and only if it measures 180 degrees. Okay? So that is biconditional. Now, let's talk about compound statements. Okay? Compound statements are super easy. They combine two or more statements, and there are two different types, conjunction and disjunction. Remember, con in Spanish or Latin means with, okay? So just a reminder. So conjunction, all right, connects with the two or more statements with the word and, okay? All right? You will eat a donut and you will drink coffee, all right? So there it is. That's the symbol. You read that as S and T. This is the symbol for a conjunction. You know to remember this because it looks like the letter A, okay? And that stands for and, all right? Now disjunction connects two or more statements with the word or, okay? You will eat a donut or you will drink coffee. So this is read as S or T, okay? And then Miss Ferber will tell you this is like a seesaw. You either have one up and then one going down. So this, okay, doesn't look like an A either, so you know that's an or. All right, so let's look at this chart. All right, I will pass geometry, that's an X. I will watch TV, that's a Y. The moon is made of cheese, that's your Z, okay? So now looking at this, Y and then and Z, okay? So you take your Y, I will watch TV, okay? And then, again, that looks like an A, so and, okay, the moon is made of cheese. It's not about how you feel about it, it's your ability to translate symbols, okay? All right, now, X or Y. I will pass geometry. or, okay, Y is I will watch TV. Let's hope you pass geometry. Okay, now let's go the other way. I will watch TV or I will pass geometry. I will watch TV is Y, okay, or you use that seesaw, okay, or I will pass geometry, X. All right, now let's do the moon is made of cheese. You know that's Z, okay, and then you've got end. All right, and looks like an A without the bar. I will pass geometry, X. There you have it.